In the fight of good and evil, it's not easy now to tell which will be left standing when they ring the final bell. But I'll cast my lot with the innocents and with the foolishly naive and say, I'm not blind and I'm not stupid, but still I do believe. Well, down around midnight, there's word of a big fight. It's going to be a hell of a brawl, because the worst of what humanity is was gathering to see who was the baddest of all. There was hatred and jealousy, anger and greed, all huddled in the dark down a dead-end street. Who would be the toughest of these? Who would be the last one still on his feet? Well, pride boasted that he would carry the day, while mistrust said, yeah, like I believe a word that you say. Selfishness would not let anyone else in the ring, while dishonesty was trying to rig the whole thing. It was a bad, bad night. It was a very bad night. It was a no-holds-barred, no-mercy fight. It was a very bad night. Well, the undercard featured a minor little bout that was over in like 10 seconds flat, because lust just wanted it more and overcame apathy, who wouldn't get up off of the mat. Then the whole crowd poured into the big red tent, and all eyes turned onto the main event. The experts said that Gluttony would not go 3 rounds when he showed up at the weigh-in over 800 pounds. Now, the betting was heavy all through the day, because speculation and avarice were making their play. The front runner was hatred, same as every year, because hatred never seems to weaken, and it fights with doubt and fear. But the smart money seemed to be following greed, because lately greed's been coming on strong, and lots of good people were betting on evil, even though they knew it was wrong. It was a bad, bad night. It was a very, very bad night. Well, the crowd hushed like they were in church pews, and then the bell rang, and all hell broke loose. Everyone was punching or pummeling someone else, except for guilt and shame, who beat up on themselves. The fighting was dirty, the fighting was mean, there was kicking and biting and everything in between. Everybody took a beating, illegal blows were dealt, cruelty and cheating hit well below the belt. And then the room was washed in a purple light, and love walked in, all dressed in white. Leaped over the ropes right into the fray, saying, this is not my fight, but I'll fight it anyway. And just for a moment they all stood and stared, struck by love's beauty, for which no one was prepared. Then they realized if love takes over, all of them are gone, and they all got twice as mean. They started piling on. Insecurity tried to undercut love, while tyranny tried to squash it from above. Secrecy was planning a sneak attack, while betrayal said, don't worry, love, I got your back. It was a bad, bad night. It was a very, very bad night. It was a knockdown, drag-out, shoot-'em-up fight. It was a very, very bad night. Well, the battle continued long into the night, and love was battered and bruised and lost its footing in the fight. And it started looking hopeless when in round 83, love was caught off guard and staggered and fell down to one knee. And as the room was spinning wildly and love tried to catch a breath, hatred stood above and prepared the kiss of death. We saw love's head bow and surrender. But what we didn't know was love was just gathering strength to come up swinging and knock hatred out with just one blow. And as the rest drew back in fear and one by one began to fall, it was clear to all who saw it that love still conquers all. And as the morning light was dawning and the birds began to sing, hope and redemption helped a tattered love slip trembling from the ring. We all watched the shaking legs and the bleeding, tear-stained face rise up in triumph, smiling, and walk out in quiet grace. For in the headlong rush to glory, and in the passion of the hour, and in the worst of all our trials, we forgot love's awesome power. And though we'd neglected and dismissed it and not given it a care, we were cheered, thrilled, and inspired to find that it's still there. And so we promised that love's solitude would never be repeated. For if we all would fight with love, it could never be defeated. And so we vowed that in the future we would try not to forget. But we people are not perfect. And the fight's not over yet.